The headlines tell the terrifying story from Bensonhurst to the Bay Area. The drug of choice today is a drug from the past, LSD. A current affair cameras went to the streets of San Francisco, and within seconds, our producer found someone with plenty of LSD for sale. As Mike Watkis reports, America is experiencing an acid flashback.
My advice is turn on, tune in, and drop out.
The summer of 1967, a time of exploration, of experimentation, and for countless wide-eyed hippies who flocked to the city of San Francisco to ride the crest of a new revolution, lysergic acid diethylamide, or LSD, was their pipeline into a psychedelic tidal wave of music and mind expansion that swept up an entire generation.
There's too much confusion.
It's been more than 25 years since the legendary Summer of Love exploded here in the Haight-Ashbury district in the heart of San Francisco. And despite the passage of time, things don't really seem to have changed very much here. Free spirits still abound, and the word on the street still seems to be turn on, tune in, and drop out. But now more than ever, that seems to mean dropping LSD.
LSD's back. It's happening just as much as ever.
If we wanted to buy some acid, where would we go?
You're here. I've taken it probably a dozen times or so.
Everything that has to do with the 60s is coming back.
Dr. David Smith was just like any other flower child in Haight-Ashbury back in the 1960s. At the time, however, Smith realized that many of San Francisco's other free spirits needed free medical help. So he created the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. And today, Smith says, after years of almost complete absence, LSD is back, as popular as ever.
You're seeing an increase in the manufacture of LSD. And then we've also got a generation that are using it now that weren't even born during the 60s.
It's pretty good. Enlightens you. Makes you think. Makes you more aware. Had some religious experiences on it.
And after years of LSD research, Smith has seen perhaps more than anyone this illegal drug's awesome and sometimes deadly power.
Young people that take LSD can kill themselves. That's why I liken it to Russian roulette. You never know when there's going to be a bullet in the chamber, but when it is, it's serious.
And we witnessed that serious side of LSD while spending time on the streets of Haight-Ashbury, something Charles Honish, the captain of the Narcotics Division of the San Francisco Police, witnesses every day. Honish works in tandem with the DEA that since 1990 has tripled its LSD arrests and tripled its nationwide LSD task force.
We've noticed a resurgence of more acid. It is more readily available than perhaps it was in times prior to that.
And Honish says the hallucinogenic drug is making a comeback not only in San Francisco, but all across the country.
I suspect that the LSD laboratories are somewhere on the West Coast. I wish we knew, we take action, but they're I would say probably somewhere in the West Coast and even Northern California. But the distribution chain is nationwide.
And just how easy it is to get LSD in American cities, we found out on our first day. For literally within a matter of seconds here on the streets in San Francisco, we were offered our first deal.
I'm going to give you 23 left. I'll give you a deal. I'll give it to you for 20.
Our producer, Harley Tatt, was approached in front of our cameras by this man and offered almost a dozen hits of LSD.
All right, tell me what kind of acid.
Oh, these are shakedowns. They got the little Buddha man on the front.
Are there different kinds?
There's bad kind, strychnine and stuff.
And despite the existence of bad acid, the sale of LSD is booming on the ground and in the air.
It's very easy to mail. It's particularly blotter acid can be folded up and put into an envelope and dressed and stamped and sent on its way.
For years, many have tracked large amounts of LSD to concerts of legendary 60s bands like the Grateful Dead. However, today, a more expensive form of acid called ecstasy underscores a new underground scene called raves.
That's what they do it at, the raves. That's most of the people that buy it aren't hippies. They're like yuppies or whatever.
There's a stereotype in society that only poor people, only non-white people, only lower social and economic people do illegal drugs. Not recognizing that there was a whole generation of parents who now have children and went through the psychedelic 60s, who took it themselves.
Basically, the 90s are going to make the 60s look like the 50s.
There must be somebody out of here.
And like it or not, it seems history has a way of repeating itself. And nearly 30 years after its heyday, LSD is back, once again, part of the American culture.
And here's a frightening footnote. According to a recent survey, LSD use among high school students is up by 20%.
Six is repeating itself, good and bad, all over again.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah. Still ahead on Extra, it was the 20th anniversary of the show that had everyone bopping to good old-fashioned rock and roll. From John Travolta to Olivia Newton-John, everyone came to the Grease reunion.
See, I got a wife out of it.
Wow, wait a minute. Is he as cool as Danny? Cooler.